Yesterday was probably the proudest moment for me as an Indian, was this sweet victory down under at the Gaba. I think almost every Indian and every cricket loving Indian and every cricket loving individual globally must have, has probably seen the most gritty fight back to win this series in Australia. But I mean, with all the odds stacked against us, with Rishabh Pant being called a babysitter for Payne's baby after he dropped many catches. Did he pay back Mr. Payne? And Mr. Payne really was a pain for all our batsmen with all his chatter behind the stumps. Probably the way the Australians play the game. But we did teach him a lesson, made India proud, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is the new young India and Indian cricket. It's all about that, and I hope people don't go off track to try and connect that with the current political dispensation and suggest to us that this is because of that. No. This is because of a system that's put in place. This is because of aspirational young India, and this is despite the current illiberal winds flowing in the country, folks. And so, as you read these headlines, your chest swells with pride. No words for a headline. Absolutely right. Indian Express says it right. Hindustan Times says, a new team comes of age, defined by resilience and fearlessness. India displayed great character in Australia. Times of India says, no one believed they could. They did. Guts and glory at the Gaba as India pull off awesome victory. From invisible to indomitable. Okay. But then you have something that Rama Bijuparkar writes, which I think we should take to heart. Yes, India can. And this shows India can. But what she writes is this. Atmanirbhar Bharat, stepping into the culturally loaded minefield of self-reliance, a notable word turned ignoble after 1991. Instead, he should have given a clarion call for Atmabiswas Bharat. His colleagues and acolytes would not have had such a hard time splitting hairs, reinterpreting Atmanirbhar to mean self-sufficiency, not self-reliance, and arguing that the old xenophobic meaning of the word is consistent with the idea of globalization. He should use his considerable pivoting skills and turn Atmanirbhar to Atmabiswas Bharat, or self-confident Bharat, signaling, yes we can, just like this young Indian team did. However, when you see what's happening in the rest of India, especially in the states of Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh, where the new start, as per Shivraj Chauhan, has something to do with some stupid love jihad law, you know, these guys are just on two different planets, you know. As he says, first arrest in Madhya Pradesh under new anti-conversion law. Gujarat then, 28-year-old held in Madhya Pradesh under new religious conversion law. And Karnataka man to be charged with rape in UP. This is again based on this interfaith issue. Then you have Gujarat court issues arrest warrant against journalist Prananjoy Gua Thakurta, and why that? It's because of what he writes rightly about the Adani Group. Because when you read something like this, Adani Group inks concession deals with AAI for developing 3 airports. Okay. This is crony capitalism at the worst. What does Rahul Gandhi say? Rahul, BJP's power over farm laws in China. Rahul lying on China, misleading farmers, says BJP. But you know, Rahul Gandhi has got a problem. The China problem and all the inactivity subsequently from independence can be laid on the doorsteps of an inefficient Congress as far as China was concerned. They got, after the beating they got in 1962, they have just not been able to pull themselves out of a corner. And to them lies with the fault for either the Tibet policy or the lack of development of infrastructure on the border. So I think Rahul Gandhi is the last one to take on this government on China. He should stick with subjects he understands. And he's right when he says that this is what he should be sticking with. Modi government trying to create monopolies, says Rahul Gandhi. Absolutely right. And he should go after this. Laws designed to benefit 3-4 crony capitalists, says Congress, and he's absolutely right. Even though this may have been started with this bum chum of Pranab Mukherjee, who was another guy who was a bum chum, corrupt. Created the corruption when he shook hands with the Ambanis. What does he say? Sharing official secrets with journalists, criminal acts, says Rahul. And this is something he should be focused on. Because Balakot, how did Arnab Goswami know about the Balakot strike 3 days in advance? That is something that we all as citizens need to know. And then he says, and then we have the Home Minister says, GDP grows with good law and order, says Shah. The fact is, that's true, but these are just mere words, because his law and order is probably got to do with what's happening in the border in Singhu. It doesn't cover things like lynching and love jihad and stuff like that. Folks, more later.